saw the title of this video, we are going to be making my YouTube 100,000 subscriber plaque into a trinket shelf. So I have already unboxed it, but here it is. Look at that beautiful like mirror look. You can see how sketchy my camera holding setup is there. And it says Lakinzo for passing 100,000 subscribers. Now obviously these plaques here, they're meant to be displayed, right? Which is exactly what I'm gonna do. But the thing is, it needs to be a bit more chaotic looking. My room, if you saw my room tour, is covered with trinket shelves. I love a good trinket shelf. I love a good trinket. So the plan is to make it more cohesive with the rest of the space. What better way than to make the play button into a trinket shelf itself? We're gonna make it all like silver themed, you know, to go with the silver. It's gonna be so cool. I'm so excited. Let me show you what we're starting with as our base. The reason this video has taken me so long to get around to, I got this play button back in February. The plan was I was going to find a trinket shelf to start with as the base. I wanted to find it organically out thrifting. That just did not want to happen. So I caved and I got one secondhand online instead. Here it is right here. It is handmade. I'm pretty sure it's meant to be a dollhouse. It's got like a roof up here and this little fireplace situation down here. We'll be knocking that out and the roof, which is kind of sad, but we're going to be breathing some new life into it. It is also falling apart a little bit, but we're going to fix it up. And we're going to make it into something entirely new. So let's get into it. Like I said, we're going to knock off this roof and also get rid of everything in this space right here. Because this is where we're going to be putting in our play button later, there is a bit of empty space here on the left, but I'm actually going to add a couple more shelves here to fill in that space. All right, so I was able to pry out all the pieces in the middle here pretty easily. The roof, however, was glued to the top of the shelf, so we are going to have to replace that. But look how nicely the play button fits in here. Are you seeing the vision? And then look, I can use some of the pieces that I took off and trim them down to make those into the shelves on the side. And if I'm being honest, I think my dad might have to help me with some of this, so I'll get back with you all. And here's what we're looking like so far. We did end up having to replace the top and the bottom because they weren't straight. My dad just used a scrap piece of wood and cut them both to fit. We also cut and glued these shelves here on the side and also added 2 nails so that we can actually hang the plaque up inside the shelf instead of just having it sit in there. Now we're just gonna sand the surface, get it nice and smooth, and then we can add some paint. I'm not too concerned about sanding like the back of all these cubbies because the plan is after we paint it, we're going to add some pieces of black matte board in the backs of all of these. It's also going to kind of help cover up these cracks here. These are our 2 options here for the paint. We've got just a plain metallic silver as well as this nice chrome here. I did go ahead and spray like a test piece on some of the extra pieces from the shelf. This is the metallic as well as the chrome. The chrome almost has like a mirror finish, which I think is a bit too much, so I think I'm going to go with just the plain metallic silver. And here's how it looks after paint. Again, don't look at the backs because that's all gonna be covered up. But now watch this, watch this. Stick this in there. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. So my dad's been using his like matte cutter thing to cut out these pieces of matte board. I could go in with like a gray, but because I'm gonna fill in all these slots with like gray and silver things, I need there to be a bit of contrast. I really do want to hide these cracks right here because again, I just want the things that I put in the shelves to really pop out and I don't want to have all that texture kind of showing through. And here is our finished play button trinket shelf. Look at that. You know what time it is now? We get to add some trinkets. Now this shelf is going to be I Spy Core, you guys. Y'all remember these I Spy books from like the 90s, early 2000s? These books were my absolute jam, and it is my life goal to look like I live in one of these books, basically. So anything that just kind of gives off the vibe of stuff you would see in these pages, I just kind of started calling it I Spy Core. So like old crusty toys, objects that kind of have some cozy maximalist vibes, just straight up childlike whimsy. And this page right here is one of my all-time absolute favorite I Spy pages, and the goal is to kind of have this vibe right here, but all silver. Okay, that's the vision. Then here's some of the trinket shelves that are currently on my wall. You can go look at my room tour if you want a better look at some of these. Got some more over here and down here, you get it. So first off, these are just some random items that I've set aside because I know I wanted to add them to this project. We got some vintage salt shakers, a little toy camera here, this Kodak film tin. Obviously not everything in this shelf, like I said before, needs to be silver. Some of it can be gray, some black, some white. We can have a little bit of variation going on. And one thing about this shelf, it needs to be chaotic. I could, of course, go around and just put one little item in each slot, but this needs to be full of stuff, full of chaotic energy. I really want to make sure we have a mix of some large and smaller objects. And don't forget, we can always utilize my trinket drawers here. And we do have a specific gray/silver one here. Like, look, we got some rocks in here. Those go pretty hard. A little sheriff badge. Oh, and there's a thimble. I also have an entire drawer here dedicated to steampunk stuff. Got this big ring of very greasy keys. Look at this. Look at this. I don't think we can use that. I think that's too big. We got this bag full of gears here. Maybe I can use some of those. Or a couple of these bad boys. Let's go. Got some more stuff in our crow hoard here. I did find several of these silver metallic crayons. Obviously got to add those. As well as some pieces from my giant glass jar of animals here. And we do still have our spray paint, so if I find something I want to add, but it's the wrong color, I could just hit it with some spray paint to make it match. One thing I want to look for right now is we have a bit of a gap from where the play button is just a bit too short, so I want to find something that can run along the bottom right here to fill it up, maybe like a little toy train or something. This cute little train, it fits in there perfectly, but I don't know, I feel kind of bad painting it. But look how perfectly it fits there. I also found this garbage can that is just begging to be painted metallic silver, like, obviously. And I mean, they are broken. They've got pieces broke off of them all over the place, so it wouldn't be that much of a tragedy if I painted them. Right. I spray painted the trains. I did add some silver detail and decided to leave the animals inside their original color to kind of match the little, like, kind of off-white colors mixed in. These were originally white, by the way. It's just with age, they kind of turn a bit yellow. And I did realize that I literally took something colorful and painted it gray. I'd become my worst enemy. But I definitely think I needed to do that. Look how good they look at the bottom. I also put Mactonite in the garbage can that I spray painted. I did take off the caboose though, because I don't know, I feel like it just looks better with these three. Several years ago, I thrifted like a box full of miniatures and this was in it. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a splash of milk or something, but I'm putting it behind this camera and it kind of looks like a camera flash almost, you know? I think these stairs would also look good in here. I do need to trim them to make them a bit shorter and obviously paint these silver too. He is like really bright white, so he kind of stands out, but I just really want to add this little magician rabbit. I think he's a Webkins figure. I got like a whole bag of them at a yard sale last summer and they're super cute. And this little flocked bunny guy, I kind of positioned him to make him look like he's like climbing onto the trophy there. Then for this space, this is actually a toy ladder and I decided to make it a little shelf to put some little silver dishes on. And this fancy mouse like here, he definitely looks like he would own silver dishes, you know? I also had these earrings that I never really wear and just decided to hang them from that elephant's trunk. And also I found a little mini purse that the zebra can hold. I just randomly decided to put this hippo on the stairs here and look how majestic that stance is. And I found this little charm here that I think would look neat to kind of hang inside this box like that. And to fill up some empty spots, I cut apart this little silver plastic token and I might stick some of these pieces into the corners. Okay, so I know where mostly everything is gonna go. I went ahead and took everything out just so I could get a picture for the thumbnail. But I have these keys right here and I think I want to hang them right there where I made a mark. So I'm gonna try to poke in one of these like screw eye thingies in there. I love how that looks. I also found this earring, this little spirally thing, and stuck that on there. And just so it wouldn't scratch the plaque, I went ahead and put a couple globs of hot glue on the back. So I hit all these guys with a light mist of some of the metallic spray paint because I thought the color was just a bit too kind of, I don't know, they stuck out too much. I also did cut the soccer ball in half just so that it won't stick out as much. But I have gone ahead and actually started gluing some things in here like these crayons. Usually whenever I put together a trinket shelf, I almost never glue them in there. But for this, because it just ended up being so intricate, it would have been impossible to not glue at least some of it in here. I also wanted to add this little rabbit into his hat. I did have to cut his feet off to get him to fit though. And look at this. The other day we went yard sailing and I found this little mushroom like drawer pull or something. We gotta add that. And then I actually have another of these like silver metallic crayons that I think I'm gonna add into the train because it has like little holes where you put candles and the crayons fit perfectly in there. I also decided to switch the placement of the dinosaurs and the camera because I think the camera would just look kind of better up here where you can see it a bit better. So I put the little mushroom in front of this astronaut guy. Maybe it's like a mushroom from a different planet that he's exploring. I don't know. But I also spray painted one of these little red, oh my gosh, what are these called? Barrel of monkeys. I spray painted him charcoal and then hit him with a little bit of some silver and I'm gonna have him hang right here in front of the play button itself. I'm not gonna glue it down though. Anything that's in front of the play button that would keep me from taking it out if I wanted to, I'm not gonna glue down. So like all this stuff, I might use some sticky tag or something to keep it in place, but I'm not gonna glue any of it down. Okay, so one more thing I wanna add. I completely forgot I had this whole bag full of these old like keyboard keys from a keyboard we had that didn't work. But I took out the Y and the T, you know, for YouTube, which I think I'm also gonna add to the shelf. But I'm gonna go ahead and glue the rest of this stuff down and get back with you all when everything is finished. And here it is, all finished. My 100,000 YouTube subscriber plaque turned into a trinket shelf. I love it so, so much. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's so cute. It's definitely I Spy core, definitely chaotic, which was exactly what we were going for. We got all these different little rooms here and it did really hurt me to have to glue all this stuff in there. But I mean, like all those little dishes back there, all these, like we got a monkey hanging upside down. It had to be glued in or else this wouldn't have been able to stay like this, you know, but oh my gosh. I love it so much. And here's where I added the YT computer keys. I did also kind of mist them with more of the metallic paint. Also added the home key up there. You can do a quick little tour here. First, I call this the trophy room with all these little trophies, including this one. It says first prize, general nuisance, which I think is pretty funny. Over here, we got this magician bunny. He might be like a street performer. That's the kind of vibe I get from this space. We got the stairs situation here, which I think is pretty cute. I did change out the triceratops from the zebra with the little purse, because I don't know, I just like the triceratops. We got the camera with a little alien dude. And this guy, I resonate with him. He's a collector, you know. He's got a bunch of little antique dishes and stuff back there. I like how I added the little bird up there, so it looks like he's looking up at him annoyed, like, oh, this stupid bird on my head. I don't know. I just think it's cute. Then down here, I don't know. We just got kind of like a menagerie going on. Still a vibe. And then here's the dinosaurs, the triceratops, eggs hatching down here. I decided to put this little moon button up there, which I think looks pretty cute. We got Mac Tonight. If you have not seen the Mac Tonight McDonald's commercial or whatever, you need to, because this guy's the definition of Oramaxing. We got this little, it's originally a circus train. We got like the tiger and the monkey, so I added this gorilla to kind of keep with the theme. And then got all these other guys along here. And yeah, there it is. I don't know if this little teddy will stay there. I just thought he looked cute. I don't know. I can take him off though. He's not attached or anything. He's just sitting in there. He might actually be a dog and not a teddy bear. I don't know. So the original plan was to hang this up in my bedroom, like I said, but there's just no wall space left in there, so I hung this downstairs in my craft room instead. I really, really like it. I really do. I'm really happy with it. And let's compare it here to the shelf that we started with in the beginning. I'd say that's a glow up. I mean, come on. But yeah, of course, thank you all so much for 100,000 subscribers. Of course, I wouldn't have been able to make this without you all subscribing. And I'm sorry this video has taken me so long to make and finish and post. I got the plaque at the beginning of February, and here we are practically in May. And maybe, I don't know, you'd like to see me make a gold version of this shelf. May I suggest hitting subscribe to help us get that 1 million golden plaque that, of course, we'd have to make into a golden version of this shelf. I think that'd be pretty cool. And if you stuck around this far, I do have a riddle. This is inspired by the I Spy books. You know, we gotta have a little riddle. Okay, you ready? I spy 2 doves, 3 pandas, a clock, a pickaxe, 2 stars, and a goose on a rock.